Hello there, Padawan learners, Jedi Masters, and lore legends. Welcome to the Bendu podcast, where we talk all things Star Wars.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 16 of the Bendu podcast, where we seek balance in the Force. And I'm your Horn Woman 7, and we have Josh. What up, bro?
What is happening? Ray's mom.
Ray's mom. We got Nightcrawler. What's up, bro?
Hey, how's it going? Crawler coming at you.
And we got Nate Johns. What up, bro?
Hey, guys.
Dude, we have so much to talk about tonight because we finally got the end of the book of Boba Fett. We got
We have chapter 6 to talk about too, because 6.
I'm watching it right now. Hang on.
we got to make sure we separate 6 and 7 because there's a lot to unpack.
Yes, this is very true.
6 wasn't really much of Boba Fett, kind of like 5, but
5.
Yes.
He made an appearance in his own show in that.
He
episode.
didn't. That's true. That was better. He was on screen for 15
Did he speak?
seconds.
I don't even know if he's.
No.
Nope.
Yeah, he had a cameo. Yeah, so we got a lot to talk about tonight, and so let's jump in first with Kenobi, guys. We got a poster. We got a poster for the Kenobi.
Do you have that asset?
Yeah, let me pull it up real quick. We'll pull it up from the Twitterverse.
And we got a date too.
We got a date.
May 25th, right? Is that, am I remembering that correctly?
All I know is it's not May the 4th.
Yeah, it
True.
is.
I'm sure
But
they
that's
did that
right.
on
That's
purpose.
like in the middle of celebration, though, right? Are they doing They're doing celebration this year, aren't they? In
I
Anaheim.
just don't remember when.
Yeah, they are. I'm pretty sure they are doing celebration this year. So that will be good. All right, so here you go, guys. Here is the official trailer.
Celebration starts the day after Kenobi comes out, May 26th through May 29th.
Yeah, so there's the official Obi-Wan Kenobi poster right there. We don't get much other than the sands of Tatooine, and it looks like he's not like graybeard Obi-Wan Kenobi yet. So,
It's what, 10 years later, right?
Yeah, like it.
So it's 9 years before Battle of Yavin?
Yeah,
I think that's
so
right.
he's not like super aged yet. He's not like old man Obi yet, old Ben. So, and Miguel in chat said it's on his birthday, May 26th. So that's like the perfect birthday gift, man. That's like amazing.
I'd have to research this, but I thought I read somewhere that Ewan McGregor is quickly approaching, or is at the age that Alec Guinness was when he filmed. Like, is that accurate? I don't even remember.
I don't know.
That seems... He can't be that old, unless Alec Guinness just looked really old.
Unless he grayed up quick, early, young.
Yeah. That's, there's potential for that.
But Alec Guinness was born.
Maybe he looks about 10 years. Maybe he's about 10 years younger.
Alec Guinness was born in 1914.
He was 62 for New Hope.
And
there's no way you in 62. He's like in his 50s, maybe.
He was born 1971, so he's turning 50.
He's got 12.
Yeah.
All right, so 10 years. Okay.
Yeah.
So puts it about right.
So canonically, yes, it's
about right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess that's about right. Yeah.
Just because it's 9 years before A New Hope,
Yep.
so
Yeah.
that works.
That does the math
Close
checks
enough.
out.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right, let's dive into the poster here. I mean, there's not really much we can pull from it, but what do you guys think?
The sand is very moving.
Dude, I did see one person on Twitter that like zoomed in. I don't even know if I can do this. Let me see if I can hold on a second. Let me see if I can do this on this right here. It's not gonna let me. But there was a guy that like zoomed in, and over here on his belt, you can kind of see where my mouse is. On his belt was actually Anakin Skywalker's lightsaber.
I don't know.
So that was kind of cool that they already showed that like he's still carrying Anakin's lightsaber wherever he's going, you know.
And presumably he has Qui-Gon's as well.
Right? I mean, do you think we'll get the confirmation that this is where Luke got his crystal from?
I hope so. I mean, that's always been the theory. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, because Luke didn't. I don't think he traveled to Ilum, but there's other places to get Kyber crystal. I think, right?
Probably using the other half of the crystal that was in Yoda's saber. So let's be real here. That's
a whole other thing to unpack as well.
Yeah, it is. Later.
Oh boy, here we go.
Spoilers. Yeah. Later.
Yeah.
Later. The poster looks great, but I mean, you know,
it's a poster.
We're still months away, so it's just kind of like when it gets here, it gets here. And then these shows are so binge worthy. Like I have a few different people that are like, I don't even watch a single episode until they're all done, and then I just sit and watch them all at once. You know, like
makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope we're gonna see him travel to Dagobah, possibly. Who knows where he could go? There's rumors that I think we talked about this last time, right? That the N1 Naboo starfighter ended up on Tatooine because Obi-Wan took it and brought it back. He had gone to Naboo to take care of something.
That is the prevailing theory right now.
To look into Palpatine's past.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, that would be kind of cool.
And Rey's mom.
And Rey's mom. Yeah. The origins of Rey's mom. Yeah.
That's going to be the episode name. It'll be like episode 3, and there'll be no Obi-Wan in it. It'll just be Rey's mom the whole time.
Oh my gosh. It would be kind of cool to see like more. I don't know. I mean, he's got to go off planet, right? Like he's got to go off planet at least some.
Yeah, because it's not Star Wars unless you get that like planet vista coming into frame as you come out of hyperspace. Like that makes it Star Wars.
Yeah. That feels right. That feels like Star Wars. So,
and because we don't even know what ship he took. Did he? Because he probably didn't take his Jedi starfighter to Tatooine.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what. There's not a lot we know. You know, like how did he get to Tatooine? I don't know if we ever saw him like flying with the ship. We just know that he got there, and
I bet he took some type of passenger, like freighter type thing, almost like what Anakin and Padme did in the second one.
I mean, he probably hitched a ride to Alderaan with Bail Organa, and then took a transport. Because apparently Tatooine is a destination hub, according to the Mandalorian or the Book of Boba Fett.
I mean, it's got spice. So yeah.
I was like, post, Return of the Jedi, it's where Luke was from, so it's probably a tourist destination.
So the comment up there about meeting Ahsoka, I'm trying to think about time frames. When does Ahsoka get pulled out of the world between worlds? What time? Because that's like right before Battle of Yavin, right?
That's pre OG trilogy, I believe.
Yeah, it's pre Battle of Yavin, but it's like pretty close to Battle of Yavin.
Yeah.
So I don't think Ahsoka is in play just yet.
I mean, she's out there somewhere. She just hasn't been. I don't even think she's gone to.
I guess she. I guess
because when does Rebels start? Because Rebels is just that really close to A New Hope, and this is
true.
Still
and I'm
years before.
I'm mixing up because she just gets trapped in that one time loop, kind of right there, and Ezra goes back in time in the world between worlds to pull her out.
I'm looking up the timeline right now, see if I can try to find it.
Because she existed
just like 4 years before.
Because that's just a fixed point in time that she's stuck inside the Sith temple with Vader.
Yeah, I'm not really sure, man. Like, there's got to be a little crossover because there's the Inquisitors, and we see Cal Kestis, and obviously one of the things we can kind of talk about now too is that there is going to be Inquisitors and the Grand Inquisitor in Kenobi, so we know that for sure. which I think that's pretty rad, dude. That means we're gonna probably have some lightsaber battles of some kind.
Mm-hmm.
Spinny
You know.
spinny lightsabers too.
Spinny like Darth Maul, like dude.
And
Yeah.
they're gonna maybe they'll Mary Poppins it around because didn't they use them as helicopters and rebels, right?
Helicopter
Yeah.
sabers.
Helicopter it, baby. Yeah. But what's even cooler, man, and I'm going to bring this up for you guys to see, but there was a tweet on the Twitterverse about like more characters that we could actually see in Star Wars. And Finn Raw, for you guys that watched Rebels, you know him as one of the Mandalorians that was a protector of Concord Dawn and Rebels. Ends up helping out Sabine and a few others there. But we have an actor, Kevin McKidd, that said, you know, he expressed interest in being in Mando 3.
Yep, an original actor.
Yep.
Yeah.
Same as Bo-Katan.
So what do you guess? What do you like? You like it or not? What do you think?
I like Kevin McKidd. I've enjoyed him since Rome. He was fantastic in that show.
Yeah.
If
Don't you mean
haven't
Grey's
seen
Anatomy?
Go watch it.
Is that what you meant to say?
No, not at all. Rome.
Oh my God.
I mean, that's the thing. Like all these people that were on Rebels or Clone Wars, like they have history with Filoni. So like that's an easy casting if they can make it work.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I would like it. I think he was great as a voice actor in Rebels. Like it was, I thought his part was really cool. I liked him as he was like a stud pilot with the Mandalorians, you know? And so I really liked it. So I'm totally okay with bringing him in, man. I think the more that you can bring all this crossover from all the live action, the better. Like it just makes it. It's like I was talking to a friend at work today about how like Filoni does his storyboarding, and it feels like what he likes to do so much is just pull in small little segments from all over to weave it into like a grander, larger story of Star Wars, right? And so like you see him pull stuff in like Cad Bane, you see him pull in stuff from Rebels with the Darksaber, or you know, from Clone Wars, you know. It's just he pulls it all together to weave like a bigger story is what I kind of feel like that's kind of like we could see more of stuff like that from the live action actors or from the animated series.
Well, and I'm excited for the fact that this is the first of the 3 shows that we're getting one director throughout. This is Deborah Chow's like show, and because she did, I had to look up which episode she did. She did chapter 3 and chapter 7 in Mando season 1.
Yeah.
Trying
I
to
think she
think.
even did one.
Did she? She's not credited for one on season 2. I think she was in pre-production for Obi-Wan at that point, and so that was probably what became the primary focus. But I'm excited just to see someone's kind of. This is a vision laid out with Filoni and Favreau. Hopefully, is he an executive producer on this?
I would assume he is.
I would
I think
so.
they're pretty much like the 1-2 for everything Star Wars now.
Yeah. So I mean, that's just something that they've hopefully learned their lesson from the sequel trilogy, and they're planning stuff out. I did read something today that kind of squashed my dreams of the Filoni verse, that Lucasfilm came out and said that the Jedi temple that we see in Book of Boba Fett is in fact the destroyed temple, and Grogu choosing not to take up training confirms that Ben Solo is still the first. They're sticking to the canon that is the
From
comics.
the comics.
Yeah.
But I mean, we'll get into it later. We'll talk about Yoda's lightsaber, you know, things like that. But yeah. So this, I'll skip this part here. I want to ask this next question, or actually go into a little bit of a detail about the latest Darth Vader comic. So there's the 2020 Darth Vader comic that's out. And I'm just going to give some of you guys that are watching this live just a little bitty preview. I'm not going to show you too much, but basically in this episode of the comic, you're having a lot of Darth Vader and a lot of Crimson Dawn, and you're having the handmaiden from Padme kind of going back with the droid where Luke was born and Leia was born. And so there's a lot of actual killing in this one for some of the Crimson Dawn characters. So I would definitely say that this comic book series, Darth Vader 2020, is good. Go check them out. Not as good as the 2017 Darth Vader comic book series, but I just wanted to, for you guys listening and watching, wanted to give you a little preview that, I definitely enjoyed this comic book series, and it's getting close to the end. So go check it out. So, all right. So what I was trying to hold off on, because it's kind of lead us into talking about the Book of Boba Fett, and we ran a poll. We ran a poll on our Twitter, and we need to know best bounty hunter in the Star Wars universe. Here was the choices. Okay, guys: Jango Fett, Boba Fett, Cad Bane, Bosk. So I want to hear. I'm not going to tell you guys the
No
results.
Dengar
yet.
love?
Yeah,
I could only do
Dengar.
I could only do 4 on the poll. So I couldn't do anybody else. I couldn't do Finnick or any of the others. But out of those 4, Jango, Boba, Cad, and Bosk, who do you think is the best bounty hunter in the universe?
Mandalorian.
I mean, give me the reasons, Josh. Tell me,
I
Josh.
can bring you in warm, or I can bring you in cold.
And cold.
Tell us, Josh.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. That was it. That's the reason, because he can bring you in warm or cold. Like, I don't know. I mean, especially what we saw him do in the meat pack, the meat plant or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
he was pretty bad to the bone, So,
Literally, because he went down to his bone.
that's right. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. And I mean, and that was with him not knowing what he's doing with that saber. So you get him knowing what he's doing with that saber, and all of a sudden you're talking about a bounty hunter that's basically a Jedi at that point. So, I mean, short of using force powers, right? But I mean, he can fly. He's pretty much he's like a Walmart Jedi at that point.
Walmart Jedi.
Yeah. But from that list, we wouldn't know it from watching the most recent show, but I would still go with Boba.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. What do you think, Nate? Out of that list, or anyone outside of it, what is
Maybe
what
Cad.
is your- Cad?
Cad Bane, yeah. He gets a lot done during Clone Wars, and I mean the fact that he was able to survive all the way through,
Yeah.
Spoilers, but Book of Boba Fett, yeah. He won a lot too of his
Yeah.
encounters with Jedi and everything. So I'm gonna go with Cad.
Cad. All right. All right, Crow.
One/lived.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean that's
Yeah. I would say from on screen, what we know, it's Cad Bane. But I think, the argument was settled for us in this last episode.
I mean, a guy can get lucky, I guess.
Yeah. And Josh has a theory that he's going to blow minds, I think.
I want to hear this theory. I mean, for me, I'm gonna be the odd man out, and I'm actually gonna say Jango. I think Jango was probably the best bounty hunter in the galaxy.
The originator.
Man, he was a clone template. He was the dude that killed. I mean, this is Legends, but he killed 5 Jedi with his freaking bare hands, like in a rock. The guy knew how to fight, like. So I got to go with Jango. The poll actually came out with a tie. Boba Fett and Cad Bane tied, both at 41.7% of the votes. So only 8.3 was Bosk and 8.3 was Jango. So yeah,
Here,
Yeah.
I'll throw out a random Star Wars fact. You ready? I'll do it right
Yes.
now. It's just a shorty.
Let's do it.
And Crawler might have another one too if he found the article. But I stumbled across what apparently the way Mace Windu originally killed Jango, he completely dismembered him before. Like
What?
it was a very brutal kill. Like, and then they edited, of course, to where it ended up just being the head. But you can see obviously like it's still the green screen, but like he would have lost limbs before the head came off. Like yeah,
Anakin, like legs and arms and
well, kind of like Dooku, like both of his hands coming off.
Dude.
I mean, Obi-Wan took out what 3 limbs in one swing. Like
yeah, that's Obi-Wan though.
Mace Windu is supposed to be the best swordsman in the galaxy, isn't he?
No, technically that was Yoda. Yoda and Dooku were some of the best swordsmen in the galaxy, and Anakin was a close second to them. Mace Windu was super powerful, but then you do have Anakin referencing that Obi-Wan was as wise as Yoda and as powerful as Windu. So
well, and Windu used a form that tapped into the dark side a little bit, and he was so powerful that he could resist it.
Canon
right?
Still.
Is that canon? I don't even remember.
So he didn't tap into the dark side. He just used the dark side energy against his opponent. So he was perfect.
And he was strong enough in the Force to resist it.
He was a great Jedi.
Yeah. Josh, kick him off the podcast. He's gone. Yeah. But no, I like it. I mean, he was the perfect opponent for Palpatine because as strong as Palpatine was in the dark side, he could just use it against him. But yeah, we saw what happened because of Anakin. So
I just can't wait till Mace shows up in the Obi-Wan show.
Yeah.
I mean, what's his name? The actor. How do you say his name? Temu Morrison. Isn't that? Is that how you
Samuel
say
L. Jackson?
You can call him Tim. Everyone calls him Tim. So
he wants his revenge. He said he wants Boba wants to enact revenge on Mace.
Yeah,
that's what he said.
He does. I think Mace is done though,
dude.
Yeah,
what's the gif of Samuel L. Jackson all like super old with the white beard and everything? Like that's who I'm picturing Boba going and finishing off. Like
you're gonna kill an old man, Boba? Yeah. Yeah. So okay, before we get into the book of Boba Fett, we did have a person that listened to our last podcast. I think it was Rust Belt Kid. He was asking, like, he hasn't really read any of the Star Wars stuff, the books or the comics or anything, and he was wanting to know, like, where's the best place to start for a Star Wars fan? So let's just kind of open table this, guys. Where do you guys think the best place for a Star Wars fan that's wanting more canon and lore and things like that? Where's the best place from the start?
I mean, a lot of the books are great, right? Like I jump into Audible for that kind of stuff, but I mean, you've got to realize that I for myself, I've probably watched the original trilogy more than any other movies ever. Like even before I had a VCR, I would go to a friend's house who had Betamax of the first 3. And I was like, I'm watching this. I don't care what we're doing right now, but we're watching Star Wars. So, that's like, and I think you just pick up so much just from watching. So my suggestion is just watch all the movie, not the last 3, but watch the.
Oh my god!
You got to watch the last 3 to find clues for Rey's mom.
Oh my god!
That's true. That's true. But yeah, like, what? Oh, I thought there was a sound effect coming in there. Like, I was like,
I was waiting for somebody to. It wasn't me.
You have something I want.
I thought the emotional damage was coming out or something. I wasn't sure. So.
Well, we can get there if we want.
Yeah.
Hold on.
But yeah,
emotional damage.
There it is. Yeah, just I mean, it really is going to boil down to how you like to consume your content. If you want to be able to just like, kick your feet up and watch stuff, to relax, then yeah, just watch the movies, watch the TV shows, and just watch them a couple times. I mean, I went back and watched the last episode of Boba a second time today while I was on my treadmill, just to kind of like really take it in a little bit more and see, because I realized for me the first time I watch stuff, I typically just I kind of zone out and just try to focus on the positive and the stuff I'm going to enjoy from it.
Yeah.
And then when I go back the second time, it's a little more with a fine tooth comb, and then maybe looking at it a little more critically, but
or also have read an article that kind of pinpoints some of those Easter egg kind of stuff, so you can look for it yourself as well.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, and even now that we know some of the games are canon and stuff, I mean, there's lots of stuff out there that you can glean quite a bit of knowledge from. And again, I mean, I guarantee there are people out there that are wondering why I'm even on a Star Wars show, right? Because they know so much. I mean, it wasn't Star Wars related, but I put up a video about being excited about new Mario Kart stuff, and the one comment was real YouTubers named every track that was shown, and I'm just I don't know, I don't know anymore. Real Star Wars fans would know, every little and it's I mean, I just know as much as I need to, and if I want to dig a little deeper, I will. But like
what you like.
Yeah, just like what you like, and
yeah,
don't gatekeep.
Yeah,
right,
exactly. Yeah. What about you, Crawler? What do you think? What do you think?
I would say
he's gonna say Legos.
I mean, there's some Legos right over here and over here.
I told you, I wasn't even a joke.
Yeah.
I would say if you're looking for stuff just outside of the 9 movies, Disney Plus is going to be your friend, because they have all of Clone Wars, all of Rebels, which can be a good place to start. There's some extra kind of stuff in Rebels. There's different ways to watch Rebels, just like there's different ways to watch the movies, different orders. So I mean, there's lots of stuff to digest just there.
Even piggybacking on that, Crawler, I don't know if it's still available, but Disney had the Clone Wars episodes you should watch before watching Mandalorian.
Yeah, they had a suggested playlist or whatever. Yeah.
So even that, if you don't have the time to go through the whole.
Hopefully, I mean I'd seen that originally, and then I don't know if it.
Well, yeah, just think, even the Clone Wars, there's one thing with that is it's out of order technically. So StarWars.com has the actual chronological order to watch the episodes. I wish Disney would give you that, because it also slots in where the movie goes. Because there's the Clone War, which has more with Zero, which is one of the huts.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
An annoying hut, but yes.
Doesn't he talk like Mega Man from the old the Captain Nintendo? Mega lame.
Yeah, I don't think he speaks any Huttese at all in that whole movie.
Probably not.
Yeah.
But short of that, growing up, I always enjoyed the DK cross section books of the ships, and then there was a central guide to characters and vehicles and all sorts of crazy stuff. Mulehorn had tweeted or done TikToks about this book, and this is now canon, right? This one's
canon. Yep.
So I mean, there's lots of tidbits and cool stuff. I remember.
Don't you preach out of that every Sunday morning?
Yeah.
Yes.
The Bible of Star Wars. I think the visual guide to the Rise of Skywalker, was that the first time the map of the galaxy ended up in print?
I think so. I think it was.
I know that was a big deal, and that also was the first time that some of the Old Republic Sith Lords were confirmed as canon as well.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's lots of interesting, cool stuff in not even the novels, but just information books that are just out there that are easy perusing, kind of at your whenever you want to. But some of the Legends books, and I think some of the new canon books as well, usually do a good job putting we always talk about years before Battle of Yavin, years after Andor, all that kind of stuff. Battle of Yavin is the the before and after Christ of Star Wars timeline, and so you get a lot of where books slot in canon and in legends, if you're going way back into some of the older books, and so you can kind of get an idea for all this different activity that's happening with the main characters that you're familiar with, and all sorts of other stuff that's going on. So there's lots.
It'd be easiest to just say BL instead of BC before Luke.
I mean, technically, yeah, I guess. Yeah.
But yeah, there's lots out there, and it's usually pretty interesting. And if Filoni keeps going, he's going to try to pull as much legend stuff into canon as he can. And so some of those Legends books are worthwhile, because we talked about Heir to the Empire. I think a lot of that content in that Legends book that was made in mid 90s, right? Yeah. It's going to get dragged, I think, into canon here with the next season of Bad Batch.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, all that Heir to Empire, which is the Thrawn stuff. That's where he originally showed up, and I know they've since created a set of
there's a
sets of Thrawn.
Trilogy. I think it's a trilogy.
There's at least a trilogy. There may actually be 2 trilogies of Thrawn that are now canon too. Mm-hmm. So, and I wonder if some of the the old X-Wing series, that was a fun series with Wedge leading the way. That's another good one, at least from the Legends books. I remember.
And from non-legend, the name just slipped my mind.
Aftermath.
The Aftermath
and Bloodlines.
There's 3 of them.
There's 3 Aftermath books, and then Bloodlines is its own.
Yeah.
Yep. There's an Ahsoka book, although I'm not entirely sure that's canon anymore.
I think that's canon, because that's how she gets her white lightsabers.
Okay.
So
there's a whole.
For some reason, I thought there was some.
There's a whole couple of books right before that actually explain the First Order and why the Resistance is the Resistance, which I wish there was more in the front crawl of Force Awakens.
Most of that's like in Bloodlines, if you want to know more about that. But
there's even a pretty like fantastic book that's relatively short. I just want to pull up my library here on Audible. It's it's precursor to Rogue One.
Ooh.
And
which
it's called Catalyst, and it's very good. It's very good.
How's that focus on?
It's I want to say it's been so long. It's been so long since I've listened to it. It was
Jin's dad.
Let me see. I'll just pull up the details real quick. But yeah, I want to say there was some. Let's see. The must-have prequel novel to Rogue One, a Star Wars story, upcoming film set before the events of New Hope that revealed the untold story of the Rebel effort to steal plans at the Death Star, and that's all the further it goes, unfortunately. But the main that's right. The biggest takeaway about this book is there's a huge focus on kyber crystals. There's a very very large focus on kyber crystals. So here's one of the reviews says, excellent writing performance, great story and preparation for the new film. Started off a little slow and at times seemed verbose, but however, very important information regarding kyber crystals and other important plot points. Also good to meet the Urso family. Yeah, so it's quite a bit. It's a lot of backstory on Urso, like the Urso family. So.
Yeah, for Jin.
Yeah. I really enjoyed it. I wonder if we'll get little bits of that in Cassian too, or Andor, whatever it's the new show is called. Even if it's just some background stuff.
I mean, we've already heard that it's getting a season 2. That's the big rumor. Is that there's going to be 2 seasons of Andor. So,
and hopefully season 2 brings in K2.
That would be
I would
love
cool.
that. Yeah, that would be awesome. Yeah,
we need more of him
because he's already confirmed not to be in season 1.
Yeah.
Well, they like to keep stuff.
I guess at this point.
You never know. You never know now.
Because I'm hoping Liam Neeson's in Obi-Wan. I mean,
Blue Ghost.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be cool.
That would make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Because he's supposed to be there learning how to become a Force Ghost.
That's his
training.
training.
He talks to Obi-Wan during Clone Wars too.
Yeah, he does.
And it is Liam Neeson,
right?
And
doing the voice. So
was it an original voice line that Liam Neeson did for Rise of Skywalker, or was that all just post? Was that all just previously recorded voice lines?
That I don't know. All right, so Nate, Where do you think they should start?
I mean, a lot of good stuff's been out there. Obviously, watch all the shows. There's some good comics out there. I know you referenced the Vader comics. I've gone through those. Those are fun. I mean, there's always the entirely new era of High Republic. Lots of books and comics for that too. I enjoyed the first High Republic book. I haven't read the other two yet, but I think there are only two other ones out. But those are always fun. The Thrawn books. I mean, other books like this. Be More Boba Fett.
Was that a self-help book for
oh my
Hunter?
gosh,
Pretty much.
What is that?
Stand out from the crowd.
Yeah, hold it up again. I want to see it so we can be more Boba Fett. That is hilarious.
Always get the job done.
That is awesome.
Amazing.
Oh
There's also all these too. Like these are all legends now, but like this is you were referencing out of the Bounty Hunter Code earlier this week.
Yeah.
There's Book of Sith, which has like it's kind of tongue in cheek. Like it's got cliff notes by Luke and by Palpatine, like writing in it, which is kind of is weird, but also builds into like where the book was and how it was passed along. Like, so it's kind of interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll have to check that out. I will definitely say if you're just starting, all the shows is like the other guy said, and I would also add comics. The comics are the easiest to get into, I think, because they're usually not so much that you just get lost. So I would say, like, if you want to just get started, there's one of Qui-Gon Jinn that's just a one series, like one comic. That's it. That you can read. That's really good. The Anakin and Obi-Wan, or it's called Obi-Wan and Anakin. I think that's like 4 comics. That's really good, and it's all canon. And then I would say the 2017 Darth Vader and 2020 Darth Vader series is, especially for all the stuff we have now, like all the stuff we're getting right now, those comics are perfect because a lot of them lead into a lot of the stuff that's happening now.
Are those all on Marvel Unlimited or whatever?
Yeah, you can go to like comixology.com and if you have Amazon, you can, I think you can read most of them through that. If there's other ways to read them, I prefer to help the artists. But if you're on the short,
if you have your local
DM.
library might have access to Hoopla, which is an app, and that has a lot of them on there too.
Yep. Yeah, so there's a lot of great content out there for Star Wars, but for me it would be comics. Comics are the easiest to get into, and the Dark Horse comics they have that are legends for all the Star Wars. Those are really good stories, and some of them they're bringing into canon, like Black Kasanzan and like all the stuff going on with in the Book of Boba Fett. So there's a lot there. Okay, guys, Book of Boba Fett. For you listeners or viewers, there will be spoilers. We have to talk about it. So we're going to talk about the last 2 episodes because we didn't talk about the last 2 episodes since the last time we were live. So what do you guys think about the last 2 episodes and the finale? And I want to hear it all. Let's go.
Luke.
How are you feeling, Crawler?
It's just like only a Sith deals in absolutes, and it upset me so much at the end of chapter 6. Like the fact that Luke had attachment to Owen and Beru, like and Han and Leia, and the fact that he felt compelled to redeem his father, like he had all this attachment that he was able to overcome. He didn't even want to finish his training with Yoda. Like that, I don't know. It's very hypocritical, and it was troubling to see that ultimatum presented.
Yeah. What do you think about everything else that you saw, though?
I mean, the friend of the family line, I think won the week on the internet. I think that was kind of what everybody was talking about, because that was, and then you just see the stills from all the different like where she was talking with Padme, and she was talking with I mean, all the times that she was with Anakin, and just she is a friend of the family. That was a great explanation of who she is.
Yep.
The androids were cool too, like seeing them building
the temple. Yeah. I mean, again, it wasn't an episode of Book of Boba Fett. Boba Fett was in all of 15 seconds.
Who directed that one? Because I know Bryce Dallas Howard did 5, right? Oh, that was Filoni. No. You're right.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean,
I think the best part
wasn't the same show.
No, it didn't feel like the same show. But when he's using the Force to make Grogu walk faster, like
picking him up and throwing him,
that was the best. Like that was fantastic. But I mean, like you guys have said, it wasn't really a Book of Boba. It wasn't a Boba Fett episode, you know? And that's what kind of was strange about all of this stuff. Like looking back at the whole thing, parts of me loved it. I loved so many things, right? But the whole overall, Boba didn't really seem like Boba. He seemed like a broken Boba that, like, I don't know, like trying to lead with respect instead of like.
Well, that's what 5 years for the Tuscans do to you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like a bantha.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, that was great. It was So it was just. I think we saw him disintegrate one person, and that felt like too little, you know, like, and that was after he just got his ass kicked. Like it wasn't even, he was like laying on the ground firing a rocket up at him, you know. You're just kind of like, this is what needs more disintegrations, right? There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. So, but I don't I thoroughly enjoyed all of it. This is just going back and kind of looking at it with the, again, just kind of some critiques. And it was just like that particular episode though. Like, I mean, I loved seeing Luke, you know, seeing him do flips with Grogu on his back and stuff. Like it was very nostalgic, right? There was
that deep fake artist that they paid money for paid off, because it looked a lot better.
Huge. Yeah.
And Mando just sleeping on the bench. Also
the memes that came out of that week. I saw so many Forrest Gump memes.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Nate, what were you saying?
R2 being there too, that was great.
Yeah,
that was fun.
You were saying
it
didn't feel good.
No, I mean it was fun for what it, like, if it was something in a different show, I think it would have worked better. And I wonder if we should have spent more time maybe with Boba with the Tuscans as opposed to just in flashbacks, spend more time for a couple episodes there, and then come to the future and not do these extended breaks. Because there's a huge break in what was going on early in Boba Fett. There are those 2 episodes, and then there's that quick, finale.
Yeah.
Like they could have done, or they should have just made it a shorter series.
Or a longer series and actually split it into 2. I don't know if we're going to get a second season of this.
I don't know either.
Because honestly, I think this was supposed to be. They saw an opportunity, I think, to make it about Boba Fett when they reintroduced him. But this was, the 2 Mandalorians are kind of intertwined, and it all just is the Mandalorian universe now with this time period, because it's 5 years after Yavin, and it's 25 years before Force Awakens. So we have this time period where, if we're not going to focus on the New Republic, we have these 2 characters, one that was newly introduced and one that is well known, well, not well known, but well revered in the lore of Star Wars, that people want to learn more about. And it sounds like people aren't happy with what they're learning about him. I mean, they don't, it hasn't been a well received kind of series. But like Nate said, I think spending more time with the Tuskens, seeing what evolved out of him, build up to a point where you need Din Djarin, cut the season, because go into Mando season 3, let that build, let Din Djarin do 8 episodes worth of stuff to go see Grogu, go continue doing whatever, and then come back, or build in the Pike Syndicate fight in Mando season 3. And because the fight, while it was the whole episode of 7, like it kind of was lackluster in ending, like, and it kind of just ends, and Finnick assassinates the remaining players that need to be assassinated, but it kind of just ends.
I mean, we did get a Rancor, Boba Fett.
We did get a Rancor.
So there's that.
Yeah.
It looked like an 80s monster movie, though.
I will say, throughout the show, there have been times I'm like, really? Maybe they should just put a little more budget on
like the
effects
move?
And not bring Luke in.
I don't have a problem with the spin move. I've seen it so many times now in clips that it's like, oh yeah, but like in the time,
I'll try
like,
spinning.
Spinning's a good move.
Yeah.
With a title like the Book of Boba Fett, I feel like they could have used it to basically give us 8 separate chapters that we almost could have taken deep dives with other bounty hunters that he ran into and actually seen Boba, like, seen this stuff. I mean, if you think about it, other than what we saw when he was pretty young in Clone Wars, we didn't know anything about this character before Empire Strikes Back. So what was he up to during A New Hope, and what they could have had the opportunity to show Boba working with Vader, because he obviously had a history. Right? Yep. He's like, no disintegration. So who did he disintegrate that Vader was like, damn it, Boba?
Yep.
You know? Like, but I mean,
could they show that?
They did in Mando.
Just not have it. They don't need, just don't take his helmet off. Show him in Kenobi that way. That way they could still use Morrison and not have to worry about him looking, as old as he does.
I have a thought. What if they're going to use this? Because I felt like overall, I thought it was fun, right? It was fun. Star Wars. It adds a lot of good story in it. It had a lot of cool moments, but it felt like discombobulated at times, right? Because you're jumping all over the place, and it didn't feel like one connected story. It felt like a bunch of different chapters that were thrown together in a book, and then
it was just a bunch of Western tropes that they threw at the screen.
It almost feels like, and I hate to use this word, but it almost feels like a filler between like the Jedi show that we're going to have, Ahsoka, Mando season 3. Like, it just felt like all of it was trying to tie a bigger story all together, right? So it kind of felt like it was all over the place. But it makes me wonder if they're using this, like, kind of people are like, oh, Mando's changed. He's not as cool as he was. What if we see him in Kenobi, dude? What if he fights Kenobi when he's trying to find a young Luke? Like, there is potential for that. There is potential that we
could have. What if he disintegrates the wrong Luke? What if that's the whole?
I mean, what if we see him, like, disintegrate Aunt Maru and Uncle Owen? Like, what if that was him and we see that? Like,
could be.
There is a lot that they could do with this Kenobi series. So
I don't think that works, though, because
if they did like
comics,
a flash...
he's getting. Well, I'm just thinking about the comics, because I don't think he goes to Tatooine like hunting Luke until after Vader.
Not until he's older.
Encounters. Yeah, so I don't think that would work from a timeline perspective.
But I mean, there's just so much they can do. But I really do feel like that the whole book of Boba Fett was meant to like fill in the gap between now and Mando season 3, because I really do think Boba's going to be so integral in what Mando will do, and they're you can see the bond that's forming between them, right? Like,
quickly, and that was the best part of 7 was them jetpacking all over the place, and
but you didn't need a whole series for that.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, that was 2 episodes that really did that.
We have a comment that says Luke is horrible. He abandoned Grogu. You know what? I'll actually draw this cool parallel here for a second, because that is kind of funny.
He FedExed him back to
Mando. Yeah, he didn't even go. He just sent R2. They didn't even go. He's like, R2, you take him. I don't want to. Yeah, but like I felt like they were drawing a parallel there, right? Like Luke right now, I feel like is so young and learning how to do the Jedi Academy, and like in Legends, you see him a lot looser with the Jedi Code and things like that. So I felt like what he was doing was what Yoda did to him when he was on Dagobah, right? Like
very much so.
When he knew
that's exactly
like,
what he was doing.
I got to go back to Bespin and save Han and Leia. So maybe Luke knows that he needs to go. He needs to go help Mando, and then he'll come back to me eventually. So, and
all right. You make a good point. That redeems it a little bit. If that, but like that for that to be true, the poster that, because that Lucasfilm didn't make that poster, right? They just endorsed that poster that we saw last summer with Grogu as a Sentinel.
I don't know. I'm not too sure on that, actually. I know
say he doesn't go back somehow.
Yeah, I mean he totally could go back, like,
or Ahsoka takes him under her wing at some point.
Yeah, I mean
he can just show up in all the shows. Just Mando can ship him off with Ahsoka for a little bit. He can learn from Ezra. Comes back for season 3.
Yeah,
or Cal. They go find Cal.
Yeah,
or Cal finds them.
But it was kind of like you're saying. It was almost like Luke knew Grogu needed the on-the-job training, not And then what does he do? He pulls the the bolt out of the knee and and knocks him over, and then he puts like Rancor to sleep. It's like, this is better than anything Luke is going to teach him before that temple's even built. Like,
Luke's probably like, how'd you do that?
Like Luke is not even like he's like, he even said it himself to Ahsoka. It's like it's more like he's remembering that I'm actually training him.
Yeah,
And I gotta say
he was at the temple for
Yeah, I mean he trained under Yoda and all the others.
Because he's 50,
and he was there during Order 66. We saw it in his when.
So he was at the temple for at least 20 some years.
Yeah.
Because it's usually age 4, right?
I mean,
now, I don't know if there's an equivalent for that species of an age 4, but
yeah true. Tadpole baby.
He could be.
Yeah. It's just I think that they're trying to draw a lot of parallels and show Luke trying to grow and learn, because like he's even reaching out to Ahsoka for advice, right? He's like, and Ahsoka just like, just trust your instincts, and it's going to be interesting to see if maybe we get to see more of Luke in this Jedi series where he's kind of growing up a little bit.
It'd be interesting to see that for even the 4 years before this.
Yeah,
like right after, he gets rid of Vader and all that. Endor, that's the word I'm looking for. Right after Endor, what's going on in those 4 years? Where is he going? What's he doing?
Yeah, I mean, honestly,
there's a lot of cool stuff in canon, like in Legends, like fighting the World Devastators and the Moffs that tried to scramble for power at the fall of the Empire. Like there was a lot of stuff that the Rogue Squadron, like, was Luke even still with Rogue Squadron at that point? Like, or was Wedge was leading at that point?
Wedge was leading, but I just thinking it's been a long time since I read that series. But he was in and out, I think, in that series, but he wasn't like a main player. He may have still been, flying with them a bit, but.
Yeah. So I'm gonna change directions a little bit here, but the bikes, right? The biker gang. Okay. And so I'm going to throw something out that might change your opinion a little bit on it.
Okay.
Because thinking about those bikes, they seem out of place, right? They're like
Star Wars Vespas.
They're shiny. They look like they're from the 50s, or like, and they're slow, right?
Yeah.
Think about Luke's land speeder and think about if it was brand new. It had almost that 50s diner on wheels kind of look to it. And I feel like maybe that's the Chrysler of Star Wars. I'm using a brand, but like I almost wonder if or the Hondas or whatever, that like those kind of fit with the style of what Luke was driving. And so I started to hate them a little bit less. They still look out of place. Like they still feel out of place, but
it's not even the look. They're just useless. I mean, like, what was they didn't act well either, I don't think.
Yeah, it felt stiff. It felt stiff from them to me. And like,
what about the gal though? What about the gal right before they have to go up and they start sniping? I got some serious Leia vibes from her, where she was like kind of taking control, and like I didn't pick this up until the second time I watched it, where it was like she was like, we can't just stay here, we can't go any further because we'll be pinned. And she took control of that situation very much. Leia, get into the garbage chute, flyboy, right? Like,
yeah.
And I kind of liked that. Like, it was just like, it kind of was reminiscent of Leia. Right. Like,
yeah,
I'll give you that
again,
moment.
But again, like Nate had said, like the mods could have maybe had an episode to more fully flesh them out, because
they Finnick could have had an episode. Who is she?
Yeah, because they they put like both Finnick and how do you say? I don't even know how you say his name. The Wookiee.
Kersanson.
Kersanson.
Yeah.
Like they got added into Fortnite, and like Finnick's ship is in there, but it's called Finnick Starship. Like, where is her ship? Like, we haven't even seen that on screen. And
I don't even
did
think
did she take a land speeder from Mos Espa all the way to Mos Eisley?
I mean, I guess so. Yeah.
How long did that take?
or she
apparently
has
a while.
Or she has a ship that we don't know about.
The whole battle was over by the time she got there. Like, yeah.
But and kind of going back to my the whole book of Boba Fett chapters, like it would have been cool to reference all the way back to Empire, those bounty hunters, to see what their interactions with Boba would have been, to see Finnick, to see the Wookiee. Like it just would have been great, like to like almost have more of a bounty hunter series than this Boba sitting on the throne, and then give us this series next, right? Like make this the second series of Boba Fett.
Or instead of doing flashbacks to the Tuskens, show us the Tuskens and let there be flashbacks to what he was doing as a bounty hunter, instead of while he's all
with the white coveralls and stuff, like with this armor, like back how he looked.
It almost felt like they had to condense it down too much. Like, I wonder if there was budgetary constraints
they had
because of
two episodes that didn't fit.
Yeah, I mean, it's backstory they're trying to build, right? Like, they were trying to. That way, I think they wanted to use the Book of Boba Fett so they don't have to waste episodes in Mando season 3, right? Like, so they have to like.
That's the beauty
of terrible reason.
That's the beauty of shows and not movies, that you're not in this time constraint, and they proved
Unless
that
the studio
with
gives it to you.
True,
yeah.
I mean, but they proved that with Book of Boba or with Mando season 1 and 2, where episodes fluctuated anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour and 15 or whatever they were. Like,
but I mean, the Marvel ones do it too.
Yeah. Do you think they had more leniency in those because nothing like that had came out yet, and so they're like, oh yeah, let's see how it goes. And now that like they see how big of a cash cow it is, they're like, push these out.
But I think what happens, unfortunately, I was talking with my manager today. It's lazy. You end up with lazy writing, where it's like stuff just happens to be at the right spot at the right time too often, right? There's not necessarily good reasons for things,
and they're falling into the Star Wars problem. Star Wars has a Tatooine problem, and they need to get away from that planet. Like, too much happens on this know-nothing rock out in the middle of the Outer Rim. Like, way too much.
Too much Tatooine, too much Skywalker.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
the last thing I would say that was I feel like we've been like pretty negative, unfortunately. And I mean, I super enjoyed
Boba on a Rancor.
It was awesome, man.
There was awesome Rancor. But the last negative is like the fight with Cad Bane was so lackluster.
It was
and just underwhelming, and you were just like, these two should have been like flipping and flying around all
Cad Bane
over
has
that place.
he has rocket boots. Where were his rocket boots?
Yeah, they should have been
How old
punching
is
each
Cad
other.
Bane, though?
Like,
He is old. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
let him be
How
old,
old
but
is Cad
still,
Bane?
like just and I understand the thing is, you could see the
That's the
influences
Western.
from a lot of the Westerns, the 80s, like, and I appreciate all that stuff. I enjoy it, but like anybody much younger than us is probably going, what the hell? You know, like what is this?
It's similar to the Obi-Wan ball fight in Rebels, in a way, and how short that
What
is.
fight?
Just I mean, that's what I'm
they're
saying.
throwing around the
There's-
word fight
But
awfully
there's,
loosely.
I'm gonna have to go back. We have to go back and watch this Boba Fett fight, I guess, a little bit closer,
71.
because when you go back and watch that Obi Maul fight, like Obi-Wan shifts to Qui-Gon's stance. He goes through his original like aggressive fight stance, and then he goes into Qui-Gon's form, which causes Maul to like get excited that he can take advantage of it, and then he quickly shifts and is able to cut through the hilt and take out Maul.
Yeah,
so like
Maul.
there's so much in that like 15-20 second clip that I almost feel like I need to go back and watch the Cad Bane fight again, because Boba pulls out his gaffy stick out of nowhere. Like, did he even have his gaffy stick on his back?
Yeah,
like,
when he got the Rancor,
did.
he got
When he got the Rancor,
okay.
he had it.
he
Yeah.
also reloaded his missile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But okay, the positives, the freaking Rancor, like yes,
the
so awesome.
the art of the Rising Phoenix, when they came out with their jetpacks, that was freaking cool, dude. Like
Yep.
when they were just like, ha, gotcha, sucker, and he sent them out, and he's like, I'm gonna give you nothing. You're just gonna die and fertilize
Oh
the
my
ground.
god, that scene was awesome. Like was it the Major Domo? He's reading it. He's like, oh no.
I mean,
you
your
could see
offer.
it coming from you could see it coming from a mile away, but it was still like the fact that he didn't really. He just went out there, started talking. That character was actually kind of fun. Like,
I liked him.
He was some good comic relief. Like
Their
the subtle-
screams when they saw the
Dude,
Rancor. Oh my
screams.
god.
That lady screams when that bot is pulling that cart around and she's screaming and you can hear the audio just go. Like, I was dying.
It was great.
dying. And when Grogu jumps into Mando's arms, I was like, this freaking puppet just pulled on my heartstrings I didn't even know I had. What the hell is happening to me right now?
Yeah. I mean, overall, I thought it was real. There was a lot, like we were saying earlier, there was a lot of really fun, good Star Wars, like the Luke and Ahsoka thing. Dude, I was like almost in tears. Like, can you imagine what that had to be like for her? Like to see, like Luke basically being like Anakin was supposed to be. You know,
and what was the line she said? Something about you're a lot like your father.
You're so much like your father.
Yeah. But and the first time, or when we see Boba in Cad Bane, and Finnick is like, "Don't do it. You're emotional." Like, that was a pretty powerful scene. Like I like, because
that was a good one.
That he didn't have the stick then, so it may have gone poorly for him.
He may have lost,
and so it was. I just thought that was a pretty cool scene where he was just like, okay.
Yeah, like, and that's a good showcase of their dynamic together as well. Like, she is a great lieutenant for him.
And they definitely
showcases his growth, right? Which I think that's the whole point of this whole series, is that he's gone from this like madman that would just disintegrate everybody to like, I'm actually a pretty badass leader. So there are some cool themes there. It's just, I think those of us that are longtime fans, we've always wondered, like, what was this guy up to? Why did Vader say no more disintegrations? You know?
Yeah.
Why that line?
I think Cad Bane's still alive. I think he's
so
still
do
alive,
I.
Yes.
Beep beep.
Yes,
beep,
like you hear
beep,
it. Like there's a
not.
reason for that. Yeah, I mean he's getting old. He's like 71.
I feel like just let him end there. We can, if we want more Cad Bane, show what he was doing during the rebellion.
Yeah, I mean they did prove that Cad is definitely faster than Boba, and you know he was kind of goating him, like, because in the Clone Wars, you know, Boba basically had his training cut short from his father, so he got trained under Aura Singh and Bosk and Cad Bane, and Bane was trying to pull the whole "I'm your teacher, still I'm faster than you," and then Boba was like, "But wait, I spent 5 years with the Tuscans. I know how to fight." So, Well, all right.
Think of the knee missiles. Do we like knee missiles?
Dude, that was cool. Like when he did his little knee with the shot, like I thought it was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Like
those were a known. I think those were a known thing that we'd seen. Had we seen that before from different Mandalorians?
Yeah, in the comics, I think we'd seen it as well. I also noticed that on Mando's armor, his left leg had the knee missiles now. So I wonder
maybe
if
he got an armor upgrade when he
upgrades.
Went to...
Yeah. When he saw Boba's, he's like, "Oh, I need some of that." So, all right. So we're running a little longer than usual. So let's give me your grade for the whole. What is it? 6 or 7 episodes. Give me your grade. 1 to 10. What would you rank the whole Book of Boba Fett?
7.
That's what I was thinking. It has some individual 9 and 10 moments, but overall it's a 7 as a coherent series.
I would still say 8 because as I've started watching it through a second time and trying to pick up more stuff, I feel like I'm getting more out of it, and freaking Rancor, that's literally that pushes it above 7 for me, just because that was always my favorite. I mean, my go-to is always Return of the Jedi. Sometimes I would just say, let me watch until Jabba blows up. Yes. Yeah. Once Jabba blows up, I'm good. We can go on because I don't, but that was always that's to me probably the most epic movie scenes ever. So seeing a Rancor not be super slow and claymation and actually seeing it jump and just seeing the raw strength of the Rancor in action.
And that was a baby Rancor. So
he
grew up pretty quick.
He grew up, yeah.
Yeah.
But when he I was like, the whole time I'm watching, I'm like, please eat one of these guys. Please eat one of these guys, right? So then he eats one, and then the next one he's just like, you're a pancake, and he just flattened him, and I was like, this is so badass, And then when Boba was like, finish him, and he just rips that thing,
Mortal Kombat
flying everywhere, and they're all ducking. I was like, yeah.
I think
cool
the whole
stuff.
season will be with what we had with armor and talking about Bo-Katan, and I think there's going to be a lot. It's going to be looked fondly upon, I think, after we get Mando season 3.
Yeah,
I think
there's going to be good there's good foreshadowing that we had that we'll be able to go back and look at and say, because they had the Rancor foreshadowing on episode 4 or 3, something like that.
Early,
I want to ride it. We knew that was coming. So the armorer talking about the showdown and going to Mandalore and cleansing yourself and all this kind of stuff that we're gonna see. There's a lot of great foreshadowing. I think that it was a building season.
Yeah. Yeah, I have to agree. I mean, I have to agree with Josh. There was just so many things that pushed it up to an 8 for me. With Ahsoka and Luke and the Rancor, that was just freaking amazing. I love that. And the Darksaber and the lore we got to see and the planets we got to see that weren't Tatooine, that pushed it up to 8 for me. It was just.
So here's the thing. Most of what you're saying is not Boba Fett related.
I know, but it's still the show.
That's the problem.
Because Boba didn't leave Tatooine, did he?
No, he didn't. No, but it was still the show.
He wrote a Rancor, and that's it.
It's the show. Just because it has his name in it doesn't mean he has to appear. No, that's it. Yeah. So yeah,
the book of
Star Wars.
The book of Star Wars. That's what
it
they
felt like
should
a really cool Star Wars show.
Yeah. Well, hey,
Tatooine.
We got to wrap this up. We have another fun podcast to do after this, the Halo Infinite podcast. So we got to wrap this up. But guys, that was mega fun. There's so much more we can talk about on the next episode. But thanks for joining us, guys. Make sure to visit MuleHornGaming.com. Click on the podcast menu for more great podcasts like the Halo Infinite podcast that we're going to go do here in just a few. So make sure you tune in for that. Make sure you like and subscribe for future episodes, more great videos, and check out the description below. It's got our Amazon codes, our Epic codes, all that fun stuff. And remember,
the Force will be with you always.
May the Force be with you. May the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you, Master.
May the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you.
May the Force be with us all.